Over the last 10 years, news has undergone a major transformation. Both broadcast and print organizations have had to reevaluate how they present the news as the internet has become an everyday part of American lives. With technological advancements, people are now able to get the news right away on their computers and even their cell phones. This has caused almost every news organization in the country to create some sort of online component, a trend that seems to be growing and expanding every year. CBS is one of the nation's oldest news network and has adjusted with the times. Almost all of their local affiliates have websites allowing people to get their local news faster. At a national level, CBS has kept up with the times and has a very comprehensive website allowing people to get their national news, although they don't have a good way to link people to their local news. That, though, is why news organizations and local affiliates are still important. WTVR is Richmond's affiliate of CBS, providing local and national news to the greater Richmond area for over 60 years. Many think, though, that local news may become less of a factor in the changing news landscape in the next decade. With more and more national coverage being desired, the time many local news programs run may get cut. While the morning news may still be a staple for local news affiliates like WTVR, there is a good possibility that their 5 and 5:30 broadcast may be cut in favor of more national news. A 6 o'clock nightly local news would likely stay in place, but coverage of national news events at local affiliates may decrease. While less on-air time for localities wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, it would allow local affiliates to go out and collect more local news for broadcast. People will always need their local news, and many think it's vital to communities.
In particular in the small places or like in small towns, we should be knowing what's happening locally. I think if that's put there in the local news, that would be helpful for, in particular with the people who have families and kids and stuff like that.
While local airtime may be cut, online news may become more enhanced than it is even today. Instead of having long local blocks of news, there is a growing theory that live webcasts are going to become a very common thing. This isn't just at a local level, but at a national level as well. As people work more and are home less, there will likely be less of a need for extended periods of time for local and national broadcast when people can simply pull up the news they need on their computers or their cell phones. Pre-recorded webcasts are already in place, and it's not a far stretch to imagine that in the next decade, people will be getting their news both from live and pre-recorded online webcasts. Although news has begun to shift more towards online components, TV will still be a part of people's lives, as will news programs. Over the last decade, over-the-air television has gone away as digital TV has taken over. With the elimination of analog television and the rise of digital, we have also seen a rise in the use of high-definition TV with almost all national and local news providers. The first HD broadcast in America happened just over a decade ago, and now it's everywhere. That same trend may repeat itself over the next 10 years as three-dimensional TVs become more popular. Many news organizations have already started broadcasting in 3D, and it's likely that by 2020, almost all local CBS affiliates will be giving people the option to watch in 3D. Technology has altered the way people get their news over the last decade, and CBS has kept up with the times. They adjusted to the online landscape to broadcast news, installed high-definition cameras in their studios, and have continued to provide people with the news they need. But the changes will never stop.
I'm sure there are a million things that we don't even know exist that will be available in 10 years.
And large corporations like CBS will have to continue to evolve with the times if they want to continue being a powerhouse in broadcast news. If that means cutting local programming in favor of more national broadcasts, they have to be willing to make that shift. If doing online webcasts live is what the people want, then CBS will have to figure out a way to keep people constantly informed online. As more and more people buy 3D TVs, new cameras will have to be installed so people can get their news in 3D. There's no telling where the news is truly headed over the next 10 years, but to survive, CBS, as well as all news organizations, will have to evolve.
Basically, journalism hasn't changed that much. Just basically the same old stuff with new technology.